I'm going to bring George Meyer up here next. You may remember George as Secretary of the Department of Natural Resources at one point. He now is with Wisconsin Wildlife Federation, and we're going to talk about a number of environmental measures that have been stonewalled by this legislature, things that enjoy broad public support but aren't being acted on. And George is going to give you some insight into what's happened to just one of those. So thank you, George, for coming.
Thank you very much, Mike, and good morning, everyone. It's good to see everyone today. Briefly, Wisconsin Wildlife Federation is made up of 160 hunting, fishing, and trapping groups located throughout the state. We know our membership pretty well. We are a conservative membership. I can tell you that from surveys we've done of our own members. We've had no prior involvement in either the Wisconsin Democracy Campaign or the People's Legislature, but this is an issue of major importance to us. We're speaking out here today because it is only in these legislative halls that a supermajority loses. Let me give you an example, a case example. Two bills, AB 504 and SB 15. Different versions of a bill to restore the appointment authority of the DNR Secretary back to the Natural Resources Board. That was the way it was created in 1928 by Aldo Leopold and others, and extended until 1995. Both of those bills are bottled up in the Wisconsin Assembly. Now, I mentioned supermajorities. What am I talking about? Well, I can tell you from the public perspective. Conservation Congress, you know, has hearings in every county in the state, and they vote on measures every year. This concept has been up in front of that group several times. The votes at those Conservation Congress hearings, and there's thousands of sportsmen that show up there, is always between 85 to 90% in favor of this concept. The Wildlife Federation did a poll a couple years ago of all sportsmen in the state, statistically valid poll. 79% of the people either strongly or very strongly supported it. The Assembly Natural Resources Committee held a hearing on AB 504. 140 people testified, 132 in favor. This room was full, standing room only. I'll come back to the 8 against later. However, that's the public. What about the legislature? Is there a supermajority there? And the answer is yes. The Senate version passed 21 to 12. The Assembly bill passed the committee by a 13 to 1 vote, and the one person actually was a co-sponsor but wanted an additional amendment put on. All 14 people in that committee actually support the bill. There are 42 Assembly co-sponsors on the bill out of 99 members of the House. A majority of Assembly Republicans are either co-sponsors of the bill or voted for it in committee. The Speaker of the Assembly is a co-sponsor of this bill. Virtually all of the Assembly Democrats approved this bill. Our head count, and working with the League Conservation Voters and many other groups, I can safely say that if this bill gets to the floor of the Assembly, there are between 70 to 75 votes out of 99. Clearly a supermajority. Well, that begs the question, why isn't it passing? Remember those 8 appearances in the committee out of 140? Well, let me tell you the groups that are opposed to it. And they've either registered one way or another, so this is from public records. Wisconsin Manufacturers and Commerce, the Wisconsin Utilities Association, the Wisconsin Realtors, Wisconsin Builders, Wisconsin Transportation Builders, Aggregate Producers of Wisconsin, the Wisconsin Economic Development Association, and the Fox City Chamber of Commerce. There has been no citizen has registered or spoken against this bill in the 2 legislative hearings that have been held on it. The Assembly Speaker and other Assembly Republicans have told us, this isn't hearsay, I've heard this firsthand, have told us that these bills are not moving forward because of this business opposition. Well, why is that? Well, it's very simple. Follow the money. In the last legislative election, 2006, these business sectors, groups, contributed $1.8 million to legislative candidates. This whole thing has to do about the money. Our people don't do that. We're a 501c3. Our people believe these issues should be beyond campaign finance issues. Obviously, we are getting killed by the campaign finance donations. Well, that begs another question. Why are these business groups interested in whether the governor is selected by the Natural Resources Board or the governor? Once again, follow the money. In the last governor's race in 2006, these same business sectors contributed $4.8 million in campaign contributions. And this doesn't include any of their independent expenditures. Very simply, when these groups make big dollar campaign contributions to influence the next governor, they want that influence to extend to the DNR secretary who sets the regulations that protect our natural resources. Thank you very much for listening to me today.
Thank you, George.